So, if you're wondering why I'm redoing some of these videos over and over, or putting myself through this and putting myself through this much PTSD after getting my mental health all together and processing this, it's because I know that something's gonna happen to me any day. And I also have had several head injuries, and it gets harder and harder for me to say, talk, or even do this, as well as details like I'll give you, for instance, a detail. When I went with my brother out to eat after shitting myself at my job while not being allowed to drive or fix the illness why I can't drive. Right after in the kitchen telling my father and mother about how I ended up ODing on a pile of newspapers at age 7. And then my father just goes, "Don't talk bad about your mother. She's gone now." That's the only response I get. That's usually how it goes. If I mention I want to go to college someday and I'm going to need my Ritalin to do that, but all the rest of the meds are very useless, instead of having a conversation about college, instead of having a conversation about why I need Ritalin, they go into, "I'm going to call your doctor and I'm going to make up false statements and I'm going to fuck up your health care if you try to get that medication. I don't care if you need it or not. I'm going to screw with your health if you like it or not. And I used to be a nurse, so I can fuck with your health all I want." This is the response I get instead. And they don't remember it like that because in the moment, they lose it. They go off the rails. I'm coming down the stairs trying to have a conversation calmly about meds. I'm trying to talk to them about how I might need Ritalin for college. One of the only meds that ever actually I needed. I have ADHD. That's been proven. Wellbutrin and Ritalin are about the only two treatments that have ever worked for it. Meanwhile, Wellbutrin has a bunch of side effects, makes me shake more, and gives my stomach worse upset feelings. Ritalin I hate, makes me shake more, but if I'm being treated for the neurological condition and I got better, I could have gone to college. Now I can't. Now after 10, that conversation was 10 years, 10 years ago or so. No, probably 8 years ago, about 8 years ago or so. So, after all these head injuries, after having this for 25 years, after being skin and bone, after vomiting from 16 years old to today, almost every morning, or at least being sick to my stomach every morning, after years and 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 years of this going on, and me asking for treatment and going to doctors for years and years and years and years and years and telling my father for years and years and years and years, and before my mother passed away, telling her in front of doctors for years and years, I haven't got any treatment. All I get is medications that have nothing to do with what I bring up. "Hey, doctor, my mother's smacking me around with a ruler and I can't seem to walk right and I'm bumping into stuff. Well, here's some Zyprexa. And I can't sleep really well because I've been on heavy sleeping meds my whole life. And whatever the hell is causing me to sleep, the sleeping med is causing my heart to race. It's causing me to get really bad headaches in the morning. And because the sleeping med's so strong, I feel like I might die in morning. It's really putting some fear and like a depression feeling into me. Let's double the dose and give it another year." This is stupid shit. After all this stupid shit, yeah, I'm hurt. I mean, I was like, for instance, I had a side effect where I was getting really bad migraines and I was brought to the ER. Now, I know now that was from the medication. I was given medication. I got a severe migraine that sent me to the floor in the bathroom. Sorry, in the kitchen. See, that's the head injuries right there. I'm picturing kitchen. I got my eyes closed. I'm thinking kitchen. I know the word kitchen, but a different word comes out because my nervous system's all screwed up. But anyway, so I'm in the kitchen. I fall to the ground. I'm about 13 years old. I get brought to the emergency room. They put me on IVs. It's nothing to do with dehydration like the last time, because one time I was dehydrated and I turned pale and I was puking, and it took about a week before anybody saw. I had to turn pale and puke for a week first. Now, people were concerned, my parents were concerned for the dehydration, but when I was getting side effects from the medication and I was slamming me to the ground and I'm screaming with pain and my head felt like it was a mile wide, they gave me Vicodin, and instead of looking into it, my mother decided she just wanted to pop the Vicodin in the closet. Thanks, guys, for the help. I'm having side effects from medications, severe migraines. The doctors are putting me on Vicodin. And what does my mother and father do to help me? They pop my Vicodin and say, forget about it. Oh, let's do nothing. The migraine's over, right? We'll wait till the next one. Now I'm vomiting every morning from the medication, getting sick to my stomach for years before this. Now it's vomiting, but I've always been sick to my stomach from the medications and the overdoses. Do they do anything? Now, the side effects are clear too. There's a piece of paper my mother's being handed that clearly says the matching stuff. Me, a child, is saying, I feel depressed. I feel scared when I take these pills. I feel sad and suicidal when I take these pills at night. There's a piece of paper in my mother's hand that says, if your child feels suicidal or depressed, seek medical help right away. There's another piece of paper right in front of my mother that says, if your child has any migraines or severe headaches, consult a doctor right away. I am having severe migraines and severe headaches. There's 3 pieces of paper being handed to my mother that clearly say this on it from the pharmacies, from the doctors for side effects. Meanwhile, I'm complaining about headaches, all these horrible things. And she tells me not to worry about it. Don't blame the meds. Don't look into it. Don't worry about it. Let me go to the closet to go take some more of your Vicodin. I had to stake out the bathroom to find that out and report it to my father, by the way. I knew somebody was taking my Vicodin out of the bottle, and I had to stake out the fucking bedroom and catch her red-handed, tell my father, just for my father to tell me, she only did it once, it's no big deal, and then completely ignore what's going on with me and the side effects and the pieces of paper that are being handed to them that clearly match the side effects. And I don't read. I have no clue these are side effects until my 20s. I had no clue what was going on. I wasn't reading the side effect papers. I had no idea. Oh, I mean, I tried to learn, like I was learning mostly what the medications in the books with pictures meant. I would look at a picture that matched one of my medications in a really old medical book, and then I would flip to the page and try to understand it. But I understood very little, so instead I would look up the name, try to memorize the name of the medicine, and ask people what to expect from it. That didn't get me too far. Once when I was better at reading, like for the last 15 years, I read everything. Everything that goes in my body has to be read. Every last bit I can get. If you give me any information that something is going in my body, I want to know it. Every last bit of information before it hits my body. Don't you dare put something in my body without informing me why. You better tell me why it's going in my body, what I have wrong with me, what the hell is the reason for that going in my body, and what you're basing this on. Because if you're not basing it on any real evidence but bullshit my mother made up, I'm going to get killed. And this is the problem. Everybody's injecting me with stuff before even speaking with me. Hey, we found the dead body on the side of the road. Let's start injecting him without knowing shit. Hey, somebody just ran over his hair and he's all bloody. Let's send him to crawl home. This is now. You can just imagine what it was like growing up with my mother, having all these horrible side effects, being rushed to the emergency room because of a side effect of a medication. My mother trying to ignore that fact, even though she has a pile of paperwork at home clearly stating that at least 4 medications I'm on can cause severe headaches. There's a bunch that can cause suicidal thoughts. There's a bunch that can cause depression. And when the weirdest thing happened, as soon as I stopped getting drugged with depressants, I stopped being depressed. Isn't that a miracle? After I stopped taking 3 depressants, I stopped being depressed. Who would know? Who would have guessed? All these nurses and doctors didn't know, and I found out later that if you stop taking 3 depressants every day, that you stop being depressed. What a miracle. Wow, I should tell everybody this. I should tell the doctors this. I should tell everybody. Apparently, no doctors know that if you take 3 depressants, then the child might get depressed. Apparently, the doctors don't know if you're on multiple medications that say severe migraines, severe headaches, to report it to a doctor. That if the kid says he has this, the mother says he has this, but the mother's hiding the medication list, then maybe, just maybe, you should listen to the kid. But no, the doctors apparently don't know that these facts. They also think if a kid's vomiting and sick for a year straight, that all they need is milk to coat their stomach. Oh, that's okay. You're on 3 medications in the morning and 7 at night, and you feel like you can't eat, and you're skin and bone, and you're losing weight quickly, and you can't enjoy food, and you're starting to be affected by all this medication abuse, and you don't know it's medication abuse because you're being lied to left and right, but you're bringing up enough information to get the help you need. So you bring it up to the doctor, say you're on a bunch of medications, you give them the list, you tell them how your stomach hurts every morning, you get reports from teachers and doctors and everywhere, and the doctors just give you a glass of milk. But I didn't know my mother was fucking around for years before that. I had no idea how the system worked. I had no idea my mother was not helping me. She was hurting me. I had no idea about that. I thought she was a helpful nurse. That's because I was a stupid kid. Helpful nurses don't give you full bottles of Ipecac. Helpful nurses, when you have an overdose, don't leave you on the pile of newspapers that die. They get you to the emergency room. If you have a child that accidentally takes a pill on the ground, you bring them to the emergency room. When my brother and his wife didn't know if a child ate a pill off the floor or not, they weren't sure. They weren't sure if there was a pill on the floor or there wasn't a pill on the floor, so they brought him to the emergency room. That was a great decision. My mother knew she gave me pills. She knew I was in the middle of a reaction. She knew I was ODing. She knew my breathing was slowing down. She knew I couldn't see out of my eyes. She knew I couldn't talk. She knew I couldn't stand up. She knew I was 7 years old, and she let me die on a pile of newspapers. I was wrong. I was a stupid kid. My mother did not have my health and interest. After that happened, she moved me to Texas, New Mexico. I thought that was for good reasons. Now, as an adult, I know better. I'm not stupid anymore, and I don't feed into fantasies anymore. I'm not going to feed into my mother's fantasy, my father's wife's fantasies, or my father's fantasies. This needs to be looked at. And if the doctors want to believe my mother's fantasies and get weaponized and deny me care, there's nothing I can do about that but die and pray to God that they learn their lesson someday and help other people.